What we have here is we've got a few different people involved in this process. So right now I'm logged in here as Leah. So Leah is our loan processor internally. And I'm also going to share my screen here from my mobile device. Should make that a little bit bigger. So you can see here we have a number to text. I'm going to go ahead and send in loan to this particular number. And what we're going to do at this stage is we're going to accept that message. And as you can see, it's come back straight away saying, thank you for applying for the loan with Neocol Loans. And please send back a photo of the front of your driver's license. Just to show you here, if I switch back to Leah, what's happened at this stage is we actually have a record that's been created. So a new lead has come in here in loan leads. And at this stage, it's very simple because all we have captured is the phone number and a lead status. Of a waiting ID. So if I switch back to Paul, what we're going to do is attach a photo of the front of my driver's license. Let me go in here to my photos and grab my driver's license here and send that in. Okay, so that's been submitted, and once that gets into the system, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and analyze here. So you see it's come back. We're going to do some validation on this. And we're using some Google Vision technology here to identify that document and make sure it's a driver's license. And clearly, as we can see here, I've made a mistake and it's not actually my driver's license, and the system's been very good and it's come back to me and recognizes this as a dog. So I'm going to have another go this time and look to upload my driver's license here. And this time I'll make sure that I pick the driver's license. Let's go ahead and send that. Okay, so same process. As we send that in, we're going to go ahead and do some validation on this and make sure it's a driver's license. Once we've identified this as a driver's license, we then extract the text from this driver's license, and we then utilize some additional AI type technology out there from the likes of IBM Watson as well, where we're going to look at this and extract certain information. So you can see here on my screen, it's picked up my name and says, thank you for submitting your driver's license. Please respond with your social security number. If I just make a quick switch back here over to Leah and just open this loan record, this lead here, you can now see that we've actually extracted the name as well from the driver's license and the address and also the date of birth. So this loan lead has been updated. And now if I switch back to Paul, I'm going to respond with my social security number here. And then at this stage, we've now got the name, address, date of birth of this individual. And we also now just being passed across the social security number. What we do with this information is we take all of this and we call out through an API to Experian, and we're going to run a credit check on the individual. And we have some rules set up that if a credit score and some other factors are true, we're going to pre-approve this individual for a loan. So you can see here that that's happened in the background. We've now pre-approved the individual for a loan. What I will just show you as well, just why this is, before I go and move on to this next stage, if I just switch back to Leah again and open up this loan lead, a couple of other things I wanted to show you. The status has been converted because it's beyond the lead now, where we've offered a kind of pre-approval on a loan. So we've created a loan object. I'll show you that momentarily. But some other areas I want to show you as well. So here within the documents, we actually have a copy of the driver's license as well. So this driver's license was sent and stored in. I just want to show that that's available, being pulled back seamlessly there from Box as well. And then the communication, also from an audit perspective here, and as in this 360-degree view of a customer from this one system, we can also see here all of the communications that went back and forth with this individual. So for example, if I open up this here, we can see this was a text message that was sent, when it was sent, and the fact that the picture appeared to be a dog rather than a driver's license. We can have also the email communication, phone recordings as well, and we can get very clever on like the phone recordings, and we can do sentiment analysis, so we can see if customers are unhappy or happy, and at certain stages in the phone voice recording there as well. As I mentioned, we've now created a loan as well as a lead. So if I bring this up here, we have a little bit more information now. We have the credit score that we've pulled back as well, and the status is pre-approved. We don't yet have any information on the loan that was requested because we haven't completed that. but we do have the personal details and again the documents. I'm going to switch back again over here to Paul and go and click on this link here. So we have an application we built out here at Neocol. When I click on here to continue the loan process, it's going to ask me here for my phone number. So if I go ahead just to verify who the individual is, because at this stage we've just been working with them via a mobile device, and this could well be done on a web browser, on a tablet or a desktop PC or laptop as well. I'm just going to put in my details. And that's going to send me a verification code as well. You can see it's come up there. So if I click here, get the verification code, it's 0209. If I switch back and enter that code, so then I've verified that it is myself that's logging in here to continue the application. So what we're doing at this stage is we are going to pull down here. We have an electronic form, but we've pulled down the information that we already have stored about this individual from our Salesforce record. So I'm going to go down here and we're going to ask for a little bit more information. So I'm going to put in the email address for Paul. Okay, and then we have some specific information about the loan. So you can see the amount that was pre-approved there, how much we're applying for. So we'll apply for $1,000. We have things like the loan reason as well in here, whether homeowner or renting, source of income, who you work for. So I'm going to put in Neocol here. Okay, and then job title, and then how much you paid as well in each paycheck. Put that in. Okay, and then finally, it's going to ask me for a phone number for my employees so they can verify the income information here and the fact that I'm employed. So we're going to go ahead and submit this form. At this stage, you can see we've now sent this back to Neocol Banks, who's going to look to make a decision. We've also sent a text message, again, thanking me for submitting the loan application, and we'll receive a response shortly. So at this stage, if I look here at the loan record, we can see that the application has been submitted, the status has changed, and then we also have information about the loan that was requested. So I'm going to switch roles here over to Casey, who's our case manager here. So our underwriter, if I'm come in and refresh this and look at all open cases, I now have a task to go and review the loan application here for Paul and Vara. So if I open this up, again, we'll see the personal details here for Paul. We can also see the loan details, so what Paul has requested and some information about him and his employment as well. And then we can see the documents as well. So here we can see the identification, okay, here. And then also what we can do is, as we're the underwriter, we can actually see the credit report as well. So this is something key here about the security between Salesforce and Box. So from within Salesforce, we're bringing up and serving the right documents to the right people at the right time. So here, when I'm trying as an underwriter to make a decision, I need to view the credit report. So here we've actually done a live credit report, generated a credit report here from Experian, and then we've used WebMerge to generate the document here. So we have this credit report. As an underwriter, I can go through this and say, okay, based on, we have the information as to what they've applied for the loan, how much we've pre-approved them for, we have their documents, can verify their identification, we have the credit report. So I'm going to go ahead at this stage and approve this to offer a loan out to Paul. Okay, so now once we've done that, what we want to do is notify Paul. So if I just switch over here, have a text message that's come in here to Paul saying that his loan's been approved, and please log into your email account to sign the contract. And at this stage, again, this could all be done through a mobile device. We could send a link in a text message to go into our portal again and log in and sign the document there. But we just want to show being able to work on different devices here. So at this stage, I'm going to switch over here to Paul's email. And in here, you can see this document's just come in, which is the fact that the loan has been approved, and please electronically sign the contract. So here I'm going to open up the contract, and you can see we've pulled across the information from the loan record in Salesforce. We have the information about the individual, how much they're requesting, what the rates are going to be, and the term of this as well. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here and go ahead and sign this, and click to finish this. So at this stage, what we want to do now is, now that Paul's gone ahead and actually signed this offer letter, the contract's been put in front of him. So what we want to do is, at this stage, if I go back to Leah, what we've done in the background is we have monitored the fact that someone has signed this document. And on them signing the document, what we do is take an action to go ahead and update the loan, and then also send a text message to the individual. So if I just refresh this here, we can now see, if we come in here, that we have the loan that was requested. And here we then have the loan that was contracted as well. So what we offered, we can see the status is complete. And in the document section as well now, as well as the identification that was originally submitted under contracts, we can also see the contract that was electronically signed here by Paul, including the digital signature there at the bottom. And just to finish things off, if I switch back here over to Paul, you can see Paul's been sent a text message confirmation that the loan's been complete, and now we can go ahead and log in to provide payment details for the loan. And that concludes the demonstration. One thing I do want to add as well here with this demonstration is we've done this all through a mobile device here, generally from a user perspective. And what we're seeing in our clients is that we need to cater for different types of clients out there and different ways they want to communicate. So we have the ability in this loan application process here to deal with physical paper coming in, people working through emails, working through web clients, or working through mobile devices as well.
Really excites me about all of this is, in some cases, how we were completing what can be perceived as a very complex manual effort. But we have automated so much of it that you notice that Leah and Casey were doing only the most important bits as necessary from an exception perspective. And also from the client perspective, they were receiving information back as quickly as they were able to get it to the bank. And also Paul, as the customer, was getting it to the bank based on what was most convenient for him. What's worth discussing here is what happens. So there was a fair amount of technology used in making this happen. So we used, and I'll kind of go from left to right just so everyone understands, Twilio was the engine for text messaging, both the text messages and also the secure delivery of any of the photos or photographs of things like driver's license. We use Google Cloud Platform to do recognition of the driver's license and to OCR that. We used IBM as the ability of taking actually the output of Google and doing some recognition and some natural language processing against the driver's license. We used Experian as the identifier and as the credit validator. There are APIs into Experian. Obviously, the point of the presentation today is to show how Salesforce and Box together can both manage the work effort within the organization for the employees, but also properly manage all of the unstructured information like the driver's licenses, like the contracts. We use FormStack as the e-form. So when Paul had to fill out the form with more information, FormStack was used to do that. You notice there was also intelligence of FormStack being pre-filled with information. And also FormStack as an engine is automatically able to work with a traditional browser or with a mobile browser. We used WebMerge as taking things like the output of Experian and formatting it in a way that was human readable, because it actually is output of very machine readable data called JSON. We then used SendGrid as our engine to actually do email communications out to Paul, where you then saw the references to DocuSign, and then finally when it was all over, having that secure portal for Paul to then manage his relationship with the bank using an IBM Bluemix portal. But through it all, a lot of what really brought this together, kind of the glue, as Ryan called it earlier, is a technology called business process orchestration that was empowered by Workato. And then you still have to make sure that all of these pieces work securely together using an engine like Okta as a single sign-on and provisioning engine as well. It's worth noting too, from a financial perspective and from what it takes to make this work, we were provisioning things on the fly. As I mentioned earlier, what we were able to do in creating this solution, this accelerator for clients, is we were provisioning each one of these as we needed them on the fly. Secondly, it allowed us to architect the possible from an engineering perspective, but also from a financial perspective. Because all of this may sound interesting, but the real question is, what does it cost? And I wanted to show up here a couple examples of what some of these different services run based on how much they are used. Unlike the days of having to back the truck up and provisioning a lot of technology on premise to do things, and you ended up buying it based on it was PVUs or cores or sockets or something that was how big of a machine am I going to run this on internally. In the cloud, you actually pay for how much you actually use. You buy by the drip. And it really does show the art of the possible in bringing an amazing client experience and making it available to any size department, organization, division that you may be part of. We would like to help organizations realize your art of the possible. So we here at Neocol would like to offer a half-day workshop to see what your art of the possible is in helping you scope a conversation like this. The challenge now is not the technology, as Ryan had described earlier. The challenge now is, well, really, how do I put these Lego blocks together? These cloud services that I can now subscribe to, how can I bring them together to solve even that initial success in my organization?